Welcome, everyone, to today's deep dive. Today we are digging into a really fascinating pastoral message.
Yeah, it's a really thought-provoking piece.
It is, yeah. It's by Pastor Huzi Kong from May 29th, and he's actually drawing on the work of theologian John MacArthur.
Right, who is, very well known for his incredibly structured deep dives into Scripture.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is to explore this really intense tension between cold, rigid rules and the life-giving intent behind them. We're specifically looking at how Jesus viewed the law.
Which is a huge topic, obviously.
Oh, massive. So, okay, let's unpack this. Jesus famously stated he didn't come to abolish the Old Testament law and prophets, but to fulfill them, right.
Right, exactly.
He lived out the standard of perfection that humans couldn't even dream of achieving. But if he loved the law so much, why was he constantly clashing with the rule followers of his day?
Yeah, what's fascinating here is that the religious leaders of that time, like the Pharisees, had essentially mutated God's protective, loving laws.
Mutated them? Like, in what way?
Well, the law was originally designed as this protective boundary, right, to keep people from sin, but they turned it into these cold, hypocritical traditions. It basically became an instrument of fear.
Wow, okay. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. We can actually apply this to a surprisingly relatable modern example from the source.
Oh, the Beipu Church example. Yeah, that's a good one.
Right. Pastor Hu reflects on his 35 years at Beipu Church and this deeply ingrained Christian tradition they have of performing baptism and communion on the exact same day.
And this is where he makes that brilliant analogy. I mean, it's just so clear.
Yeah, lay it out for us.
So he says baptism is this joyous celebration, right? It's about joining God's family. It's essentially like a wedding.
Right, totally upbeat.
But communion, on the other hand, is a solemn remembrance of Jesus' sacrifice and suffering. Emotionally, it's much more akin to the sadness of a funeral.
Which makes sense, but if you smash a wedding and a funeral together, doesn't that give you emotional whiplash?
Yes, exactly. Doing them back to back just because, it's tradition, it can actually prevent genuine spiritual reflection.
Oh, because you're forcing people to switch from total joy to profound sorrow in 2 seconds.
Right. And Pastor Hugh notes that separating them, so maybe waiting a week for communion, allows believers to fully experience the joy and then properly honor the sorrow later.
That is such a practical shift.
It really is. It just goes to show that traditions should serve the meaning, not the other way around.
So what does this all mean for you right now, taking this idea out of the church and into your daily life?
Yeah, because it definitely applies everywhere.
It does. Pastor Hugh actually has this highly practical sign-off that I loved. Taiwan is entering a brutally hot summer right now, and he says the law of grace applies to your daily work.
Right, don't just put your head down and march toward heat stroke because those are the rules of a work day.
Exactly. Stay hydrated, take care of your body. He's saying to view your job not as a rigid obligation, but as an opportunity to serve others with your professional skills.
It's all about shifting that perspective away from cold rules to that life-giving intent we talked about earlier.
It really is. Which brings us to a final question for you to mull over today as you go about your week.
Something to really think about.
What cold traditions or rigid routines in your own workplace or personal life are you blindly following? That might dramatically improve if you realign them with their original positive purpose.